Aloha, and welcome to Betty's Real Estate Corner, brought to you by Roy and Betty Sakamoto, Caldwell banker from Kapalua. We're having a great time these days at Caldwell. Everybody's been kind of crazy busy or not as busy. It's a strange
we've actually
time.
Been busy.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
mostly
busy.
right now, everybody's pretty busy again. A lot of new listings happening, and it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's been interesting as Lahaina works its way back from the fire of last August, and it's I see Lahaina as turning the corner. We're getting there. Still lots and lots to do, but I think the general attitude is more positive. I see some good things ahead for Lahaina.
I kind of agree. I mean, I think that getting the businesses open would really help a lot. And I think the final, you went to that one meeting where a whole group got together and really talked about what should happen. And you went out there on the Front Street properties. I don't know if we talked very much about that before on the radio, but that was pretty amazing what happened. And the group were all people who really, really, really cared about Lahaina. Why don't you tell us a little about how it went and the things that happened? I mean, at one point, Roy was kind of the outsider, even though he was born and raised in Lahaina. And it turns out that as the time went on, he let everybody know that he was actually born in Lahaina. And he was. It was during the war, and the only hospital there was being used by servicemen. So when his mother went into labor, they took her to Lahaina High School. The boarding department was being used for residents. So they take her up there. Now, little does she know that her husband happens to be out playing baseball and breaks his leg. So he ends up in the same room with Roy's mother. But he truly was born in Lahaina. And I don't think anybody else boasted that except Roy. And they finally decided maybe he was the only one that really deserved to be there. I'm being funny. But it was a great thing.
Yeah, no, born at Lahaina Luna in one of the dorms. Mom went into labor and Dad broke his leg, so they shared a room.
Yeah. Quite a story. They probably didn't spend much time there after. Or maybe they did.
I don't remember.
Yeah. No, I suppose not.
Yeah.
But tell us a little about it.
No, it was, this was back in October. We had a focus group that got together at the Westin for 2 days. We had intensive sessions discussing on the future of Lahaina, how we envision Lahaina being rebuilt. Not the nitty-gritty lot-by-lot, store-by-store kind of a scenario, but the general theme. And it was really, really good. It was my first opportunity to get into Lahaina after the fires. Very, very sad. Landmarks are gone. You had no real idea what street you were on because the intersections, there's no street signs, and there's no landmarks. So you kind of think you're at a certain intersection, but you're not quite sure. Piles of ashes around you, cars on the roadways. So it was quite interesting just to see. Very, very sad. And anyway, this focus group, basically we figured out the future of Lahaina. We should concentrate on its historical significance. Moku'ula Island, the former capital of Hawaii, and so forth, and not so much into the 3 puka shell necklaces for $20, kind of a setup. Even though I'm sure those will come back, but the main focus is, maybe concentrating on the historical significance of Lahaina, and putting emphasis on that. Moku'ula Island and the surrounding areas, we understand the natural springs have come back to life after the fire. And so maybe that's a sign. It's a real chicken skin sign, but maybe that's a sign for the future of Lahaina.
Who explain Moku'ula Island? Because I would think a lot of people listening now don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Moku'ula Island is pretty much diagonally across from 505 Front Street. It's where Malu'ulolele Ballpark is now, and tennis courts. And historical significance, it was actually an island in that area, surrounded by water. The island was reserved for King Kamehameha. And, I mean, a lot of historical significance there. And Wai'ola Church next door, the cemetery has a lot of the ancient Hawaiian royalty buried there. And it's very sobering to go through the cemetery there and to learn more about the history of Lahaina. Never mind, again, like the banyan tree is great. It has no historical significance. It's a landmark. People understand the banyan tree and so forth. And happy to say it's coming back. It was pretty scorched. The courthouse right next to it is still standing, but barely. It's fairly well destroyed. But again, maybe restoring the courthouse there, building it back to kind of a historical architecture. And, again, lots of history. Whaling capital, that's big.
I think there is so much history in Lahaina that isn't what your average person sees or thinks about. Like you say, a lot of those people see the puka shell necklace or the little store that sells things like that. And again, there is a place for that. I'm not saying there isn't, but I think there is still so much significance in other things. And I think if everybody's thinking about what visitors want to take home with them, I think that can still be created, whether it's part of, was it Moku'ula? Moku'ula.
Right.
Island. I think that all will have its place. I think it'll be a whole new set of items that people will take with them.
Yeah, and I found out something I wasn't aware of. I guess back in the 50s, there was an effort to name Lahaina as one of the historical sites in the world. I forget if it's a United Nations designation or, it's something that has a whole lot of significance. And I'm not sure how far it went as far as the process and so forth, but it'd be great to restore something like that and have it designated as a historical site by perhaps United Nations or I'm not sure about the organizations that could be involved, but something to maybe look forward to and to strive towards.
And maybe what just happened makes it even more so.
Yeah,
because it is huge.
And, tourism is a big portion of our lives here in Hawaii, Maui in particular. And, we've got the great beaches, we've got the great golf courses and so forth. But, having a historical significance, I think visitors are looking for more than golf courses and beaches anymore. And if you had something historical that they can visit, learn more about your area, I think that would be really, really important. And again, helping the overall economy.
Well, when you were there, I remember when you came home, kind of tears in your eyes as you talked about the royalty that was buried there, that in a way you never totally knew about. And you lived here all your life. I think that by itself was a huge realization for us that there was this thing going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I knew the cemetery was there. It was a place to run through on the way to the ballpark,
Yeah.
Never stopped to read any of the tombstones or anything, just ran through it. But very sobering to go through and to learn more about who is buried there and so forth. I can't remember the names right now, but it was very, very worthwhile just to see.
And what was left there? The tombstones are still there.
Right.
Okay, that's great by itself.
Right.
That much survived.
And it would be great to go with a native Hawaiian who is familiar with that, because some of the names don't mean a whole lot until they start talking about it. And, a princess or a prince and so forth, and what they accomplished. It's real chicken skin history.
It's amazing, really, but it really is something that we should all think about. And maybe we should make a point of learning a little bit more just so that we can repeat it better, because I think what you went through there was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's funny. Years and years ago, Peter McKinney, good friend of ours, Peter and Luana lived right next to Puamana. Luana's family is part of the Farden family of Puamana fame and so forth. Entertainment, Farden family was number one in Hawaiian entertainment and Hawaiian music at one time.
And they traveled also, didn't they,
Yeah,
the Farden family?
right, yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, Peter came to me, and there was a movement to put in a strip mall across from where the Episcopal Church used to be, and across from King Kamehameha III school. And he said, we've got to stop this. We've got to stop the strip mall from coming in. And that's the first time I really got more information on Moku'ula. And Peter sat down and patiently went through it with me. And we were able to muster enough support. Alan Arakawa was mayor of Maui then. We visited Mr. Arakawa at his office, told him about this parcel of land that shouldn't be used as a strip mall, and that's something that the county should be able to take over, to purchase, and hopefully hold for the restoration of Moku'ula at some time in the future. So thank goodness the county did step forward. They bought the property. It's been used as a parking lot until Moku'ula is ready to be restored. And hopefully the Friends of Moku'ula, who have been kind of quiet lately, hopefully we can get them regenerated and come back and restore Moku'ula. There's a strip parking lot that's used by Maui County right now that's also available. And so, I think that's the future of Lahaina.
I think you're right. And I think that a lot of people would support that, financially if needed. And as there's got to be a way that can happen.
Yeah, my understanding is there are many international foundations who would support an effort like this. So I'm not sure who they are, but perhaps we'll get more involved in this.
Well, maybe again, if the United Nations stepped up and worked with everyone on that, making it an historical site, the whole area, that could really make it worth a lot more to someone that wants to be able to do that.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Well, you think we should maybe remember a little real estate here? Or?
Yeah. But it's not like, we've had a lot going on in real estate, but we've also had a lot going on as far as the restoration of the citizens of Lahaina. So, it's been great. The 50 Home Project, we're going to kick off. We're going to have a grand opening of our 50 modular home project at Kapalua. August 13th is the designated date, and these will be for 50 modular homes. There's 20 two-bedrooms, 15 three-bedrooms, 15 four-bedrooms, 50 in all. And
the people will have to either have to work for the golf courses and lost a home. And
right.
There won't be 50 of them at this point.
No.
And then it will go,
right,
it'll open up.
And we're trying to determine, this again is being paid for by the owner of the golf courses at Kapalua. And it's on his nickel. There's no public monies involved, no other charities involved. And he's paying for the housing for his displaced employees. That's number one on the agenda.
Furniture?
Fully furnished.
Fully furnished, appliances.
Including split air, air conditioning, and modest rents. It won't be free, but the rents will be fairly modest. And depending on how many of the 50 are taken up by employees of the golf courses, we'll have some way, hopefully, of working out opening it up to general public or perhaps other Kapalua employees. Anyway, we're working through the details on that. But August 13th, we're going to have the governor, the mayor, and the president of Daiwa House from Japan. Daiwa House is the one supplying the modular homes.
They had done modular homes also, Daiwa House, after the earthquake. a major earthquake in Japan.
After the big Fukushima. Earthquake, 13, 14 years ago, they put their factory to work 24/7 and manufactured 10,000 modular homes in 3 months.
It's amazing. We have Dr. Norm Eston, on the phone, so he's going to kind of fill us in on a few things going on. So are we set for him still? Okay, you ready, Roy?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Dr. Eston?
Good morning, Betty and Roy from Doctors on Call Urgent Care Centers with a little medical update. Thank
you. Sorry that we took so long.
For filling in. Oh, thanks for filling us all in about that great project. That's terrific to see all this moving forward to take care of Maui's employees and residents who were innocent victims of this tragedy. This is great to see this moving forward so well. Medically, things are doing great. In terms of what's been on everybody's mind the last few years, COVID, we see still some cases. They're mild, but they're pretty frequent. People are getting over it very, very quickly. If you feel like you have some congestion, a cold, or anything that feels like a sinus infection, check with your provider or come on in to Doctors on Call who can test you and see what you have. And we don't need any more vaccinations right now until the fall. They're coming out with a new vaccination for the new variants and mutations of the COVID, and that'll be ready in the fall. So that's good news for all of us. Secondly, there's a new flu vaccine coming out in the fall that will have all the latest updates and help protect all of us against bad flu. Who knows what the next season will be like, but always advisable to get a vaccine. And again, like most vaccines, it doesn't protect you totally from getting sick, but if you do get sick, you don't get very, very ill, and you certainly don't have to wind up in the hospital. Thirdly, we have the reports in now from the meteorologists that this will be the warmest summer on record for Maui and Hawaii, just like it is everywhere else in the world. We have a heat dome over Central California now, and temperatures are going to be 110 to 120 degrees, lots of places. We already have on Maui temperatures in the 80s every day, which for early June is very unusual. And so we're probably going to be seeing temperatures in the 90s and maybe above that in the hundreds in the summer here. For all of Hawaii. There's not much we can do about that. However, on a personal note, if you are an exerciser or you want to be outside exercising, again, it's best to do that in the early morning and the early evening, certainly not in the middle part of the day. The emergency room already has seen an increased number of people with heat, exhaustion, and dehydration from exercising in the middle of the day because of the increased temperature. And then the last little update is what everybody's hearing about is the so-called bird or avian flu that is in the newspapers and on the news. And I'll give you a little background. This virus, which is a type of influenza virus called H5N1, you've seen that number, it was first detected in some poultry in Asia, actually, back in 1996, long time ago. The poultry got sick. Some of the workers got sick. Over the last 20 years, 25 years, this virus has spread all the way around the world to poultry everywhere and other types of animals. We got all kinds of animals sick. And some of them have been sacrificed. And now, we, as you can tell from the news, we have reports of these in cattle on the mainland. It's very difficult to catch this virus from animals. You need close physical contact with animals, and we have for an extended period of time. So it really is only a problem for people who work in these fields. And we have had a few cases on the mainland. But we have a surveillance system to pick up any indications of the spread and any spread to people. The danger, of course, is if this evolves or mutates in a way that it can spread both to people and if people it spread easily to people. Obviously, it does already, but it's very, very difficult. But if it can spread easily to people or from person to person, then we've got something we're going to have to deal with down the line. So right now, there's no specific recommendations for us. We just have to watch this. Try to avoid exposure to sick or dead birds or other animals. Eventually, don't be consuming any unpasteurized or uncooked foods or dairy products from potentially contaminated animals. Otherwise, we don't have to worry about anything. For the general public, they're working on a vaccine, working on specific vaccines. The usual companies, but there's no recommendation or specific action for us. So once again, we're very fortunate here on Maui, and that's it for today from Doctors on Call.
Perfect. Thank you so much for calling, Norm.
That's great.
Hopefully
Norm.
We'll see you later today.
Very good.
Aloha.
Thank you, Roy.
Thanks.
Aloha.
Thanks. Okay, here we go again.
No,
Shall we give it a
very
little
interesting,
start?
though. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much going on in the world today that's worth everybody paying a little bit of attention.
Yeah, and that the heat dome, I've heard about it, and it's I understand California is really baking. Heard on the news that Las Vegas was well over 100.
But you don't have to go outside in Las Vegas.
Well, yeah, but early June, that's
yes.
pretty early. So, yeah, I mean, the world is changing, and obviously we had some freak coincidences that led to the fires in Lahaina.
Absolutely.
And throughout Maui, I mean, up country also had a fire, a very drastic fire. Quite a few homes
Kihei
lost.
had a fire.
Kihei. So, we all need to be wary and don't toss any lighted cigarettes out the window and so forth as you're driving. That's.
Remember anything. I mean, we all know things that can start a fire. And I think we've got to all rethink it. I don't have anything with me to kind of give you all of those ideas, but I think we've all got to be extremely careful. We can't have another fire ever that happens like that. Now, I think the wind, everything happened away. The fact that there were 3 fires burning simultaneously, it was unbearably windy any place that you were.
Well, talk about a perfect storm. This was it. That combination of wind, the dry grass and brush and
in crowded areas.
Yeah, and so it's.
Many
but
people.
we're going to come back.
We're coming back.
Yeah.
Many people didn't even leave their house until the very last minute because they had no idea it was happening. Maybe somebody called them, somebody came home from work and was racing them out the door. Well, they're still thinking nothing's wrong. And, I mean, we've heard so many horrible stories.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's funny. It's the show is Betty's Real Estate Corner. We didn't talk any real estate at all, but
come to our office.
Well, or call or look on our website. We're easy to find. Our website is sakamotoproperties.com. This goes back to when Betty and I had Sakamoto Properties for 40-something years.
Yeah.
And now that we're a Coldwell Banker, we still have our dedicated website, thanks to Meyer Computer. And so, come visit our website. You can access any of the listings on Maui through our website. Or call me, 808-870-7060, or Betty, 808-870-7062.
Perfect. And here we are. Danny Couch is back. And we all love Hawaii, and let's pray for everything good for Hawaii, for Maui.
Absolutely.
Forever. Aloha.
Aloha.